Hello everyone and welcome to DC Central, and in today's video we're going to be going over and discussing which Arrowverse DC CW show is going to be ending come the May upfront later on this year, so let's discuss. So you're probably thinking, whoa, Deck, slow down a minute, you just said the other week that all of the shows have been renewed. Yes, I did say that, and that is true, that is still true. All of the DC CW shows, all of our favourite shows, are still getting their new seasons, meaning Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow are both getting Season 5, The Flash is getting Season 6, and Arrow is getting Season 8. Now that is all true. However, there has been a recent interview with Mark Pedowitz, who is the head of the CW, who has teased that one of the Arrowverse's shows, which has been renewed for its next season, has also been renewed for its final season, and it will be revealed as to which show this is in the May upfront. Now, the May upfronts happen every single year for the CW. It's essentially where the CW pitch to ad buyers kind of, what their plans are, which shows are going to be most prominent and things like that, to basically entice ad buyers to go and put ads on the CW, so it would be profitable for those. And that is what that meeting is essentially all about. And it's usually, typically, when we get the announcements of the new seasons. Like I say, we got a very early renewal this year. Very, very, very early renewal. I don't think I've ever seen it done that early before. But like I say, that is typically when they do that sort of thing. So anyway, it's really interesting because him saying this, he says that we could be potentially seeing the ending of one of these shows. I will particularly point out the thing he specifically says about all this. He says, the things will age and we want to see the next generation of the shows to keep the CW DC universe going for as long as possible. Decisions about final seasons of any of the CW's fare, including Arrow, will likely come around May's upfront presentations to ad buyers. So what he's essentially saying there is, if any of the shows are going to end, if any of them are going to happen because, if any of them are going to have to end this season, it will be announced in May at the upfront, so for the buyers. So that's essentially what he said, is in May, we're going to find out that potentially one or maybe more, who knows, but I'm going to say likely one of the CW DC shows is going to be ending. So, which show is ending? Well, obviously this is something I really don't want to talk about. This is something I really don't want to discuss because, obviously, I love the Arrowverse. They are my favourite shows, and, it makes me really sad to think about which one of these shows is going to be ending. But I feel like, just to get them off the bat, just to wipe them clean straight away, Flash is not ending. There's no way they're ending The Flash because The Flash has so much more legs in it, no pun intended. But also, The Flash is, I believe, the highest rated show on the CW. It does very, very well. It's their top show on the network. There's no way that they are going to end The Flash. It's just simple. They're not going to end it. There's just no question about it. And then Supergirl, I also feel like is pretty safe. Supergirl is another big show on the network. They've also been using Supergirl a lot recently to obviously push their new Sunday time slots, which they've recently opened this season. And Supergirl has been like their flagship show for that. So I feel like they're gonna want to keep that going. So I don't think Supergirl is going anywhere, and Flash most certainly isn't going anywhere either. Now, of course, the show that is specifically referenced within this quote is Arrow. He was saying that things like Arrow, yes, it's now on its 8th season, things are beginning to age and things will start to show their age. So he is potentially teasing here that Arrow, while being renewed for its 8th season, will also be its final season. Obviously, this makes me incredibly sad, as Arrow is my favourite show of all time. It means a lot to me. It's a show that is incredibly special in my life. So to think about it ending is incredibly sad. However, I do feel like Season 8 is a good season to end it on. It feels like that's a good part, like that's a good number to end it on, just because it's an even number. It feels better. It'd feel better than the 7th season. And I just feel like Season 8 could be a good ending point for this show, depending on what they do, depending on how they end off Season 7. It's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go in Season 8, if it is the final season. Like I say, we'll find out in May if it is the final season. And I feel like that's going to be something that's going to be very interesting to read and very interesting to see what's going on there, because I'm just such a huge fan of Arrow, so to consider it potentially ending is a very sad time. However, I'll be completely honest, if Arrow was not mentioned specifically in that quote, I would have instantly jumped to Legends of Tomorrow ending, because Legends of Tomorrow, its ratings this season have been dreadful. They've been really poor. Barely cracking 1 million, a lot of times resting under 1 million live viewers, which is never good for the CW. I mean, the CW have pretty low ratings in comparison to other networks anyway, because it is a small network, but if it's getting consistently under 1 million live viewers every single episode, then that's not a good sign. And especially mix that with the cost of Legends. Legends is easily, I believe, the most expensive show of all of them, because they shoot on location, the costumes and things like that. It's very much the most expensive show on the CW that they film, especially out of the Arrowverse. So again, mix those two things together of the poor ratings, you know, the poor return on investment with the idea of it being the most expensive show. You would think that season 5 of Legends would easily be the final season, especially because I thought season 4 was going to be the final season. I thought it was going to get cancelled this season if the ratings continued to go where they were going, but we know we are getting season 5 now, so I feel like, you know, if it wasn't for this specific quote, I would have specifically instantly gone to Legends of Tomorrow ending. It gets even more confusing when you realise that Arrow and its ratings have actually been going up this season. Arrow is actually doing better than Supergirl in the ratings this year, which is crazy. I never thought that would happen. Supergirl was a huge show on the CW, but it's kind of been going down over the years. I think it's because people are starting to get sick and tired of Supergirl. People are starting to get tired of, you know, its kind of consistent poor quality, really. So I think people are not really, you know, coming back in every single week to watch Supergirl, whereas Arrow has been getting consistently better in season 7, and every single episode, in my opinion, has been great. I mean, I know I'm an Arrow fanboy, but even looking at it, I genuinely believe every single episode of Arrow this season has been great. There hasn't been a duff episode yet, so, you know, I feel like Arrow, its ratings have been getting better. They've been going up and up and up, whereas Supergirl's been going down. So if Arrow's rating getting better, and then they specifically decide now at this point to end it, it does feel a bit suspect, especially when Legends and Supergirl are getting worse. If I had to put money on it, though, I do feel like Arrow is going to be the one that's going to end. I think like Arrow, you know, it's the one that's been around the longest. It's, you know, the granddaddy of this universe. It's the one that kickstarted the entire thing. And, you know, 8 seasons, like I say, that's a bloody good run. And I'd be perfectly happy with 8 seasons, you know, a nice tight 8 seasons for Arrow. I'd be happy with that. Again, I'd be incredibly sad. I want the show to go on forever. I want the show to go to Supernatural numbers, but I just know it never will. Especially because Supernatural has such a consistent viewer base, whereas Arrow does not. I would just, you know, I really hope that they give Arrow a good send-off. I really hope it gets a good ending. I'm just really hoping that they give Oliver a good ending as a character. I really hope they don't just kill him off, because that'd be really anticlimactic for me. And I feel like, you know, based on what Beth Schwartz has said, who's the showrunner of Arrow, like she said that they're going to be dealing a lot in Season 8 with what Oliver did with the Monitor in Elseworlds, and that feels like that could be a big sacrifice that they're going to have to basically tackle in Season 8, and that could lead into the ending of the show. So who knows what's going to happen? Like I say, we're going to have to wait until May. At least one of these shows is going to go, especially because we've got the Batwoman show incoming as well. I feel like they're going to want to take one off to replace that show with, and Arrow would be the most appropriate, given that Arrow and Batwoman are most likely going to be similar tones and similar style of show. They're both going to be, you know, ground-level vigilante shows. So I feel like, you know, Arrow is going to have to go. Like, one of them's going to have to give, and it's obviously going to be Arrow. So, you know, personally, if I had to put money on it, I'm going to say it's Arrow that's ending, which is incredibly sad, but it's a reality I'm going to have to face, I'm afraid. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe for more DC content like this and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And I hope to see you guys again next time.